are some of the dangers you face as a mountain biker?
The dangers you face as a mountain biker? Everything. You just go down a hill as fast as you can on these trails and push yourself to your absolute limit.
You have to be smart, you have to be willing to hurt yourself.
Never, ever say one more run when you're mountain biking. Never say those words, one more run, because it never ends well. Little did he know he was about to film my worst crash I've ever had.
It's happened just so quickly. One step backwards is 2 steps forwards.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, good.
That's good.
Going good.
So, we brought you in here today to discuss your career in mountain biking.
Career. I wouldn't call it a career. I wish it was a career. No, probably more of a hobby or a sport that I do. But yeah, thanks for having me.
What's mountain biking to you?
Mountain biking is not only a sport, it's more of a family in a way. It's like this big community that just helps each other out. It's really cool. But mountain biking in a nutshell, you've got multiple different categories. You've got slopestyle.
Here we go. An opposite catch roll.
You got enduro. You got downhill.
Cannot take your eyes off it. Ben Walker launch crosses the line. And national downhill racing we are living through.
You got cross country.
Race of 2022, the last World Cup is underway here. Sherton not getting the best of starts.
And pump track.
Thousandths of a second of an advantage. Perfect starts for both riders right.
What are some of the dangers you face as a mountain biker?
Probably the main one is just purely how fast you're going on a track that's this narrow and you can't do anything except concentrate and make those split-second decisions that save you from crashing. If you're going 30 k's an hour down this trail, you hit a tree, that's not going to end well. You're going to smack that tree and risk a very serious injury.
And what happened to you on that day?
That day.
Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going good. Do you know why you're here today?
Interview about a certain occurrence that happened at Mount Stromlo.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you what happened on the day / night of the crash.
Yeah, we just finished training and we're going down a trail. You know, it was quite late at this time. You know, we had a few plans to do a few stuff that time. But anyway, we stopped somewhere and I record a specific aspect of this trail. And then when I was recording, he's flying down this trail, right? And he goes up in the air, and then next thing you know, over the handlebars, on the ground. And yeah, it's happened just so quickly.
I come up to this jump. Xavier's filming for me. We're going to put it on Instagram. But little did he know he was about to film my worst crash I've ever had. So I come up to this jump. My back wheel starts to go over. And I'm like, oh, I'm going here. So obviously my rebound was too high and it sparked me up. And I start going over. I jump over the handlebars. Smack the floor. But before I hit the floor, when I threw my bike down and away, it's hit the embankment, bounced off, and it's just coat-hanged my leg. And I think it's popped my knee out, but I didn't know that at the time, so I went to stand up and I heard a, and I was like, oh God, that's not good. So I've heard this pop, as I've walked around, as you usually do, you try and walk something off, but I couldn't walk, so I fell to the ground in pain. I look at Xavier and I go, mate, I think I've just broken my knee, I can't walk. So first thing I do is I call Dad, because I know Mum will panic. I call Dad and I said, Dad, I've badly injured myself, I'm going to call an ambulance, is that all good? He goes, yeah, call them. So I call the ambulance, sitting there in the dark for about 2 hours. It was freezing cold because I only had these under type things, they're like skins with padding in them. So it was freezing cold. And then the ambos came and they assessed my knee, tried to get me to stand. Obviously that didn't work, fell back to the ground. Then they put my leg in a cardboard splint like this, and then they wrapped it. And then they tried to get me up again, that didn't work. So then came the green whistle, the goat.
When the paramedics came down, we had I believe they didn't have anything at first except for a little first aid bag. We come down, they give him a green whistle, you know, he's high as a kite.
The whistle that takes you to fairyland.
Jesse. Yeah, my tits are frozen, bro. Good thing for the whistle. So much pain. Got a knee the size of a fucking boulder. Don't get lost, Pa.
It's safe to say I was definitely in fairyland.
He's high as anything. Oh, it seemed pretty quite delightful, definitely helped. And we had to give him 2 green whistles, 2, you know. Now he's real baked, you know. He's just a bloody, he's out of it. He's out of this world. Anyway, once we roll him onto the stretcher, we have the paramedics, myself, the stranger, and my father carrying him up a very steep, rocky trail, you know. That was the hard part for me, you know. I was looking at this guy, he was, you know, he was chuffing it, you know. He seemed to be quite happy, but, you know, my arms were quite sore, but, you know, I was pretty sigma, so I could suck it up. Anyway, once we got him up the hill, we put him on the, it's like a trolley, but for an ambulance, but with a stretcher. And we put him on that.
Hey Jesse, I'm Maddie. So Jesse's done a ridiculously stupid job. I saw the image, he's got it on camera.
And he goes in the ambulance. And yeah, that's what we did.
What happened after you went to the hospital?
So when I was in the hospital, we waited there for about 4 hours before we got moved to fast track. It was not that fast at all. Took another 2 hours, then we got in, got a bunch of tests and assessments, x-rays, and then doctor came back, said, you have had a mild dislocation of the knee, and then he went ahead and said, you've done your ACL. Which is probably the worst injury you could get in terms of knees, because it's a 12-month recovery, and usually you need to have surgery. So sent me home in this massive splint. It was like from my ankle all the way up to my upper thigh, which was awful. I hated it. I couldn't sleep for days. But then got a call from the doctor, said you're gonna have to come in for surgery. It was my first time having surgery, you know. Obviously I had a bit of nerves because, well, it's surgery. Yeah, I went the first day. We waited there for 7 hours, then got sent home because some dude got hit by a tram. Hope he's all right. He kicked me out of surgery, which is fair because I didn't get hit by a tram. But second day, we were there for 4 hours, a little bit less, then we got sent home. Third day I got lucky after about 2 hours of waiting. It was a bit later, this appointment. I finally got wheeled in, and then obviously you do the countdown from 10. How long can you last? I think I got to 7 before I was out like a light. And then I woke up and this random lady handed me an icy pole, and I was like, who are you? And she goes, oh, I'm the nurse, you just got out of surgery. And I was like, oh, already? I swear it's like time travel. I was so confused. Dad wasn't there either. It must have been a long surgery because he wasn't there. He must have been sleeping in the car or something. The weirdest thing was my leg was completely pink, but I think that's the antibacterial like paint. I don't know. But my leg was completely pink. I looked like a pink Smurf in one limb. But yeah, that was the surgery. And then came the recovery. I had to sit in bed for 8 weeks, I think it was, before I could get the brace off. I had this big metal brace, the most annoying thing ever. But yeah, the recovery process was I went to elite rehab. I got assigned to Dave. He's a legend. Still mates with him now. Yeah, he helped me get my knee back to full health. It was awesome. We did lots of strength training, so squats and leg press, all the stuff to build the muscle around the ACL after it had healed, just to make sure I can walk again. Yeah, and then I got back to mountain biking, and it was good. About a month into riding, did my first race back. That was good, went well.
Go, Jess!
Obviously it didn't come first because I just buckled myself the hardest I ever had, and my confidence was not there, but it was still a fun race. I had fun. I was with all my mates again. It was awesome. Yeah, and then, yeah, it was pretty good. I'm back. How good?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So how have you ended up back here?
You know how I did the ACL the first time? Well, might have done it again.
Hello.
G'day, how's it going?
Good, good. Do you know why you did that?
All I know is it's sort of an interview.
Yeah, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions. What was your reaction when you heard he did it for a second time a few months later?
At first, I thought he was joking. Sort of being back, like being able to do sports for like 2 months, or a month after, sort of ending rehab, doing it again, playing basketball. So I thought he was joking, but then, yeah, he did. So I think the second time was a lot harder for him. Yeah, so it was about, it would be 6-7 months ago now. I had finished rehab, done the full year, back to full health, and I decided to play basketball at a lower level just for some fun. And then I played one game, it was really good. Second game, 30 seconds in, I was dribbling down the court, and then someone put their leg in front of me. I hope they weren't purposely trying to trip me, but I don't think they were. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But their leg went in front of mine. I tripped over it with my left leg, and then left leg down, bang, hit the floor, the usual, out. Knee gone. I knew it instantly. My dad was reffing because they didn't have a ref at the time. It was a late game. I looked at my dad and my eyes, you could just tell I was like, and he was like, no way. And I said, yeah, it's gone. And he goes, nah, we gotta go to the walk-in centre, make sure. Walk-in centre looked at it for like 2 seconds, said, go to the hospital. Actually, no. They didn't say that. We didn't even make it in. We went straight to the hospital because I said, I can't walk. We need to get straight to the hospital. So we went straight to the hospital. I think it was Calvary. I don't think it's called Calvary anymore, but we went to Calvary. Got in there, waited for a long time. And this time it was so different because the doctor saw us and the doctor was like, oh, you can go home now. There's nothing wrong with your knee. Just take some Panadol and ice it. Me and my dad were going, this guy's, I think he's wrongly diagnosed me here because there is no way there's nothing wrong with this knee. It's like humongous and it's blown up like a balloon like the first time. And Dad's obviously done Dr. Google, and Dr. Google has clearly indicated that I've done my ACL again. So next day we went to Tim McGrath. All he had to do was do this test where they pull on your knee. He instantly knew I did my ACL, but we went to go take a MRI just to make sure. MRI showed that I had redone my ACL, so I was cooked for another year. I got given 3 choices by Tim. He said, you can do rehab without surgery or anything else, be a guinea pig for a new cross-bracing method, or you can do surgery again. Obviously, at my age, I went for the non-surgical option because I didn't want to go through surgery again, because the first time was very painful and the process was long. So this time, I tried the cross-bracing method. You may have heard of it. Sam Kerr recently did her ACL. She tried that out. I actually did it before her, so I'm better than Sam Kerr. But yeah, so cross-bracing method. So this is my knee. So you got a brace that goes from about here to here, and then your leg stays at 90 degrees for 4 weeks, and then 5th week it goes to 80, and then so forth, and for 10 weeks until you get a straight leg. And then after that you go into rehab again.
And you just backwards and forwards, so you just try and slide your knee back up towards your bum, then back again. And it's okay to dig your heel in a bit, so you get a bit of drag on your hamstring as well, so your hamstring does some work as well. Don't worry so much about pushing hard out that way. It's more about dragging back, because that's what will make your hamstring work. Like that. Does that make sense? Okay, so the latter one. Right, now the idea is straighten out your leg. All right, and then you're trying to get a good stretch out through your hamstring. Okay, so try and lift your toes. That's it, and then go like that. Okay, and then come back again.
My knee had heaps of problems with depth. I couldn't get very low. But the craziest thing about doing 2 ACLs is the sounds your knee makes when you bend your knee. It literally sounds like you've got 2 handfuls of rice bubbles and you just squish them. Like it's gross. Yeah, so you got these 2 handfuls of rice bubbles and you squish them, and that's what it sounds like. I'd just call it the snap, crackle, pop. But yeah, I'm doing better now. I'm still in rehab, which kind of sucks. But I am riding my bike now, which is awesome.
Oh yeah!
I'm back on my bike. I'm feeling better than ever. And I'm hopefully going to be finished rehab in the next three or so months, maybe. But I'm just doing more running stuff now, getting really fit on the bike. I just completed one of my biggest goals, which was to ride every single track on Mount Stromlo in a day. So that's a total of like 75 kilometers and 2 kilometers of vert, which was really cool. Yeah, I did that. So that was a big goal of mine. Managed to get all my fitness back from sitting in my bed for 10 weeks straight, missing a whole term of school, being an absolute couch potato, doing the usual thing you do when you're stuck in a bed, you know, zinger boxes every week. But yeah, and then I managed to get all my fitness back, work hard, and I'm now at a point where my fitness is high. I can do what I like, and it's really good. But yeah, just got to finish that rehab, and I should be back to full health. And fingers crossed, this camera never sees me again, because I am so done with ACL injuries. They are the worst. Guys, strengthen your knees, because just strengthen them. Just do some squats, get your knees healthy because ACLs are the worst. And yeah, thanks for having me. All right, sweet.